Well, hello everybody. I hope you're doing well. I just wanted to let you know that I've decided that I'm going to go to um, one chat a week now. During COVID, we were up as many as three, down to two now, and I think that yeah, we'll go back to what I originally used to do, which was one live show a week. It's just with the shooting that we're doing, I have some travel coming up for Motoring TV and other things that yeah, you can always add more. It's not an issue. So starting Monday, today's Thursday, Monday we'll be going back to one day a week. If you guys hate that idea so much, I can always do more. But let me know what you think. Is that a terrible idea? Are you okay with it? There you go. All right. Excuse me. Let's get into the pictures. Now this is a triple whammy right here. So this is Nick Yee. What you're looking at is a 2020 Rogue Special Edition. Special Edition because this is the last year for this generation of Rogue. A new one is coming very soon. So Nick did a couple of things really well. He went to Car Cost Canada, the title sponsor of the channel, and he signed up using the promo code MotorMouth. Check this out. Nick saved $7,500, $7,500 off his new Rogue. Now he did a cash deal, and he said the best thing was he dealt directly with the general manager and not a salesperson. And then he decided, you can see it says right there, the wax shop. He's had it ceramic coated. So he's interested to find out what all the fuss is about. So congratulations on your 2020 Rogue. And you saved a whack of dough there. So good for you. So now, right now, is the sweet spot for anybody that's thinking about buying a car where a model is ending and a new one's coming. So people ask me all the time, when's the best time to buy a car? When do you get the best deal? Well, you often get a good deal when the model year is changing over. So the 2021s will be arriving now. So dealers will be motivated to move the 2020s. But they'll be especially motivated when it's an all new car that's coming. So for example, the Rogue is going to be all new for 2021. So the existing cars, in order to sell off their inventory, they're going to give some great deals. So he got $7,500 off. Once again, carcostcanada.com to find out how you can save money as well. Next up is Jerome Levesque-Boucher from Belle Provence. He sent a picture of this McLaren 600 LT, and he said, basically his comment was, it's going to be a lot of fun driving a car like that on the bumpy roads in Quebec. And if you've never driven in Quebec, they certainly do potholes really, really well. Okay, what else do we have to do? That's about it. We pick up our Civic tomorrow. Our new Civic is arriving tomorrow. Our new family vehicle. That's a 2017 Civic with 40,000 kilometers on it. Just got a call from the salesperson today saying that the bumper scratch they're fixing is all done. Okay, let's get into the questions. Bruno is saying, hey Zach, Hyundai announced the Kona N line last week for the Canadian marketplace. Do you think they're going to bring a full Kona N to Canada in the future? I think we're going to start to see more of this from the Korean cousins. So Kia has GT, and then Hyundai has N-Line, and then a full N, like the Veloster N. I'm not sure if it would be for a Kona, but you're going to see more of this from them. So they're trying to. You can see the way they're modeling their brands, very similar to what the Germans do. Whether it's, Audi has an A5, then they have an S5, and then they have an RS5. So they're doing the sort of same grade walk, and a lot of brands do this. Whether they're going to go full RS, like an RS5 with a Kona, with a full N, we'll have to wait and see. But at least they're bringing out the N line, which is one step closer. My 3 Series lease is not due till February. The dealer called me saying they can take my car back early and give me a great deal on a new car. I wonder why. How do I take advantage of this? Okay, so what BMW is doing is they're putting the velvet handcuffs on you. And it's cheaper for BMW to give you a deal and keep you in their family and keep those payments coming out of your bank account for another car than it is to try and have an acquisition, meaning if you went and got if you left BMW and you went and got a Mercedes-Benz, to try and get you back can cost them a lot of money in advertising, marketing, test drive opportunities, all that kind of stuff. So once a brand has you in their fold, it is incumbent on them to keep you there and to keep you happy and to keep you coming back for more. So what they do is often exactly what you're talking about, sort of 6 months before the lease is up. Hello, yes. Oh, you've got a, what do you have? You got a 3 Series? Hey, why don't you come in and get the new 3 Series, which is brand new. It's a new model. We'll give you the same car, or we'll give you an even better car. And by the way, the lease rate is less and your payments are cheaper. Like, why would you leave? That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to keep you in the tent. They're trying to keep you as a BMW customer. So what you should do is call back the dealer and find out what the deal is. If they say to you, hey, listen, you've got a 2017 3 Series, we'll get you in the new, ask for a 2021, don't ask for a 20. Say, I want a 2021. Come in, I'll trade you. Oh, Jack, come and sit. I want to talk to you for a second. What did you think?
Beer.
What do you think? A couple of things. Where's my beer? I'll put that there. So, Jack, what did you think about the Raptors win yesterday?
Great. Pascal Siakam might be the worst player I've ever seen in my life. Can't make a shot. He played 53 minutes and had 12 points.
Okay, so
26% from
regardless of Siakam, they still going to a Game 7.
Yeah.
Now, what are you more excited about?
Because Kyle Lowry carried. But
Kyle Lowry carried. So, what's more exciting, Game 7 or the fact NFL's on today?
NFL. I love the Raptors and I love basketball, but football.
Who's going to
top
take
priority?
Who's going to win the Super Bowl
Seattle
this year?
Seahawks.
Okay, out you go. I like the sound of that. Seattle Seahawks. Thanks, Jack. No problem. And this is a subscriber sip, so there you go. Oh, that's refreshing. So there you go. They're trying to get the velvet handcuffs on you, trying to get you to come back to them. So call the dealer. Say, yeah, I'm interested in this. I want a 2021. You don't want a 20. I want it. And the other thing is, say your interest rate right now is 2.9%, and that you're paying currently, and the posted one right now is 1.9. They'll often give you a 0.5% off if you come back. So that would bring you down to 1.4%. So these are all the things to ask. Find out what the deal is. You can always come back and ask me here on the live show again. Barrick is saying, what are your impressions of the Lucid Air? I didn't really look much into it, to be honest with you. I've been really busy, and I haven't really looked into it. Which electric car should be released? What classic car should be released electric? The Volkswagen Beetle. Volkswagen got rid of the Beetle last year. 2019 was the last year. They should bring back another one with full electric. Of course they should. What do you think of the and have the original Beetle sort of ethos, which was an inexpensive car for the people? So an inexpensive Volkswagen Beetle electric would be cool. What do you think of Canadian pricing for the Acura TLX? Starts at $44,490, Aceback $49,790, top $52,190. Well, they basically go right up against everybody else. I think that's fine, and we have to wait till we get a chance to drive it to see. But yeah, they're going right into the belly of the beast compared to every other mid-size premium car. That's right on the money. Looking at replacing my dad's 13 Camry with a used SUV, budget around 18. Comfort and reliability are main considerations. RAV4 or other models you suggest. SUVs are expensive. Yeah, I think to be honest with you, is this for your dad? If this is for your dad, just go and find the best RAV4 you can for the money. Okay, because that one is the 2.5 liter 4-cylinder and the 6-speed automatic transmission. Now, if you're a bit adventurous, you can look for what used to be called the sport model, and because he had a Camry, so you're going to look for an older RAV4 that had the V6 engine. Now they're out there. So I would look for a used RAV4 in that price point, and also have a look when you're going on, search engines like Auto Trader, put in V6 and see what pops up for your price. Okay, here's what you're following up is. He's very tall and older, and harder for him to get in and out of his car. Another vehicle I want you to check out. I've put so many older people into this car because it's just easy to get in and out of, is a Kia Soul. Have a look at a Kia Soul. If he doesn't need the all-wheel drive, it's a front-wheel drive car. It's perfectly fine. Get him to check one of those out. How did you find a 17 Civic with such low kilometers? How much did you buy it for? Well, this is an interesting phenomenon for the West Coast. And why I say, and I've said it many, many times, Vancouver is probably one of the best places in, well, it's the best place in Canada, if not in North America, to buy a used car, and especially a used premium car. Because Honda Civics, you know, is it really worth buying a Honda Civic from British Columbia and shipping it somewhere else, say in Canada? No. If it's a premium car, yes, it is. Here's the thing. In Vancouver, if you've never been here before, Vancouver doesn't have a highway. City of Vancouver, there's not a highway in the city of Vancouver. And that decision was made many, many decades ago. So the highways that come to Vancouver, as soon as they get to the border, they stop and you get into city streets. And what that did was that kept the neighborhoods intact. So people still commute out to the suburbs, but a lot of people live right in the city. I do. I'm the very first neighborhood from the downtown core. So from my house, I can walk down to Rogers Arena, where the Canucks typically play, or BC Place Stadium, where the Lions play. I can walk down there in 15 to 20 minutes. Okay, that's how close I am to downtown. So there are people like me who own cars that don't drive very far. So there are, if you're in the market for a used car, you can find very low mileage cars in Vancouver. It's not uncommon to find a 3-year-old car with 30, 40,000 kilometers on it. I'll give you one. Our car, we have a Porsche Cayenne. It is 2.5 years old. It's got 18,000 kilometers on it. All right. What did I pay for it? I didn't really get much of a deal. I basically paid. I got a good market price. Put it that way. Any thoughts on the Toyota 86 as a daily driver? Would have any issue in Toronto winter? Yes, you're going to have issues in a Toronto winter. It's a rear-wheel drive car. It's a lightweight car. You are going to have to put on good winter tires and drive it sensibly, right? You can do it. There's not a question that you can certainly drive it in the winter, but you have to get good winter tires. And the fact that it's if you're manual transmission, you have to know how to drive properly in the winter. So you can do it. Hey, Zach, Nick showed me your Instagram post with our question on it. Awesome. I'm not sure if I put it on there. Oh, I see. Okay. We put a screenshot of the live show and your question was on it. I see. Okay, I get it now. I was wondering, what is he talking about? So yes, Andrea is in charge of the social media here on the channel. So she took a screenshot of the live show. Let me just check it out. What did she put on there? In the story, it basically says, you know, what we're doing here. So, oh, Josh is on there. Maybe he was on another one. But anyway, I'm glad you enjoyed that. Zach, you mentioned you're getting your hands on a 2021 Crosstrek soon. Yes, a week today, the 17th, there is a Subaru Canada event here in Vancouver. So I'm going to get a chance to drive the new Crosstrek. And a video will be out shortly after, okay? So stay tuned. And hopefully you're not in that much of a rush to buy a car. Are there any plans for Suzuki Jiminy launch in Canada? No. I really don't think the car would pass North American crash tests and stuff like that. It's a shame. Stefan is here saying, Thursday football time now, but watching Motormouth too. Well, that's good to hear. Yep, NFL kicks off today. I don't know how you can play tackle football with the, what is an NFL team? How many people are on an NFL team? Between all the players, all the coordinators, all the coaches, all the physiotherapists, all of the doctors, all of the managers and assistants, and the infrastructure to move and keep a team going. It's got to be a couple hundred people involved in an NFL football team. And to have them all stay clean from COVID is going to be interesting to watch. I'm not sure how you're going to do it, but let the games begin. If you're just tuning in now, I announced at the beginning of the live show today that I'm rolling back the live show to once a week, back to Mondays. If you guys hate that idea so much, I can do more. It just doesn't take anything for me to come down here and into my office and do more of them. But I think that, through the whole COVID wave, we did a lot of them, and now I'm going to roll it back to one, and we'll see how it goes. For Rubio, hey Zach, still trying to understand Porsche lineup. Differences between GTS, GT4, and 911. Driving feeling. Also, do all-wheel drive Porsches feel too different from rear-wheel drive? Thanks. So a GTS is not, even though it has a GT in the title, it's really not a GT car. So if you had a GT4 or a GT3 or a GT2 or a GT2 RS, the GT is sort of the special track ready car. A GTS is basically a special edition. The S stands for special. So what is your question here? Between a GTS, a GT4, and a 911. Well, the 911, base 911, is going to be the most relaxed, laid back, and easygoing. Then the GTS will be a bit sharper because it's a higher horsepower car. And the S, meaning it's special, it typically comes with extra equipment on it. And typically a GTS is a last year of something, right? So the GTS 911s came out about 18 months before the new 911 came out. So they typically put a GTS on for the last year. So that's a special edition. But then a GT4 is a track focused car. Am I making sense here? 911 is the base car. GTS has more equipment and usually more horsepower. And then the GT is the car that can go to the track on the weekend. And all-wheel drive, rear-wheel drive. Now there's a picture of a 993. I had two of those. I had a C2S, which was just rear-wheel drive, and a C4S, and I preferred the 4S. Now, in those days, there wasn't traction and stability control. So for me, driving an older car without those, the all-wheel drive was nice to have, especially in a car that kind of felt light in the front. If I was buying a 911 today, and I wasn't going to the track, I would get a 4S. Greetings from Edmonton. You said something about Norwegian oil fund the other day and then said, hello, Alberta. Can you please elaborate? I know this can be some bitter truth. Okay, so what we were talking about is electric car rebates and the fact that in Norway they have the highest percentage of electric cars in the world. And my point is that Norway gives huge tax breaks and incentives to people to buy electric cars, but their dirty little secret is that all of that money that Norway has, they're the richest country in the world, is because they sold oil. They continue to sell oil and gas. They take the royalties from the oil and gas, and it's offshore oil in the, kind of like the same North Sea kind of setup that they have for the UK, and they put that money into their sovereign wealth fund. Norway has about $1 trillion in their sovereign wealth fund. The richest country in the world isn't Saudi Arabia, it's Norway, all backed by oil and gas. So what I was basically saying is Alberta didn't save all of their money from oil and gas. Yes, Alberta has a heritage fund, but nothing like they have in Norway. So when I say hello Alberta, meaning Alberta could do a lot more, could have done a lot more over the decades with all of the spoils that they had from oil and gas. Have you heard anything about the hybrid CRV doing in the States? Any chance Canada going to get it next year? I haven't looked at the numbers. I don't know the numbers on how it's selling. I'm sure it's selling quite well, but one of the problems Honda has is that it's not Toyota. And Toyota is so synonymous with hybrid. Right now with electric cars, it's like Tesla and then everybody else. With hybrid cars, it's Toyota and then everybody else. I mean, if you want to get a good deal on a brand new car, buy a hybrid from a brand that isn't known for hybrids, right? Is it going to come? Eventually it will. When it's coming, I'm not sure. I would suspect when they do a real refresh on the CRV is when we'll get it. for Canada. Frank is saying you like the live chat twice a week. Okay, well, let's see what other people say. I'm throwing it out there back to once a week. That's what I did for years. I upped it for COVID. Everybody seemed to like it because everybody was stuck home. But now, things are opening up a little bit. Huge Haggis. More manufacturers seem to be using 3-cylinder turbos now, but the fuel consumption doesn't seem any better than 4 cylinders. Given we're not penalized for engine size here, what are the benefits? Okay. Remember when I talk about compliance cars that are brought in and sold to meet government regulations? So I think what you're referring to is that the new Chevy Trailblazer, for example, has a 3-cylinder turbo. The Ford Escape comes standard with a 3-cylinder turbo. They used to have in the Focus and the Fiesta a 3-cylinder turbo. Great engine, by the way. Because on paper and in the lab, they actually do get better gas mileage. So when they put that car on the dyno and the computer and they run it with the either CVT or in the case of the Trailblazer a 9-speed automatic transmission, the whole thing is calibrated to do really well in the fuel economy test. And I bet you on paper, if you looked at it, it probably does pretty well. That's why it's there. Now, the Trailblazer, I can't wait to get it. We're getting it in a few weeks. So I just had a live chat with General Motors yesterday in Oshawa. They did a kind of walk around and answered our questions, and they did a really good job with it. And I got to tell you, I can't wait to drive it because it looks good and it comes with a lot of content. I think it's going to be interesting. And I think it has almost 180 horsepower from a little 3-cylinder turbo, which is 1.3 liters, I believe. So yeah, I can't wait to drive it. That's really why they exist. Jim Carson saying, I finally made it on time. Well, nice to have you here, brother. Jack, beer o'clock. Let's the Raps game 7 tomorrow. I mean, that was great. That was so exciting yesterday to watch the Raptors take it to a game 7. Why don't cars come in cool colors anymore? Every time I head out to the road, I'm driving in a black and white movie. The acid test is that people don't buy the colorful cars. You're starting to see it a little bit more in some of the supercars and sports cars like that coming out with funky colors. But yeah, I mean, car brands offer some fun colors, but they don't sell and then they discontinue them. And a lot of people worry about buying a car for resale value. So I always say when I get a real fun color, when I get it for a test drive, I like the color for a week. Do I really want it for 4 or 5 years? And what's the resale value going to be of it? So I think it just basically comes down to dollars and cents. People don't want to spend money on something they're not sure they're going to get their money back. I give Nissan a lot of credit for bringing new products even though they're struggling. I love that they developed a 400Z or Z instead of doing what Toyota did by not developing a Supra themselves. They have one distinct advantage with the new Z car is that they already have one, right? So continual production and actually having a plant that makes the car is a lot easier for them to take other parts from the family and make another version of it versus not having any of that infrastructure at all. So they have an advantage. They never stop making it. Therefore, they have that distinct advantage. Now, with the troubles that Nissan is in and the troubles that they're in with Infinity, with sales and not having the right mix, they're starting to right that ship. I just got an email today. There's going to be a QX50, a new QX50 from Infinity coming out in the next couple of weeks. They have the new Z car. They have the new Rogue. They're going to have a bunch of new products. And you probably think to yourself, oh, how are they doing all of this? And they're looking at not strong numbers right now. These decisions for these cars were made like 5 years ago. So the stuff that's coming to market now, like it takes about 4 or 5 years to develop and produce a new car. So what you're seeing, like the new Rogue that's coming this fall, trust me, the production, development, design, and engineering on that was like 5 years ago. So people just think, oh, they brought out a new car. They must have just dreamt it up like, a year ago. No, no, no. Years and years and years of planning. So the good news is the timing couldn't be better for them because they've desperately needed it. Test drove the Mercedes GLB, kept looking at side mirrors as I heard a rumble, soon realized it was the GLB. Did you notice that in your review? No. I love the GLB. I thought it was fantastic. I think that's a really good product. I didn't hear any noise. It could have just been that one. Go and try another one. Why do most people lease BMWs and Mercedes as opposed to purchasing them? Just cash flow. People just they don't want to have their money tied up in a car. And leasing, I've leased cars, I've bought cars. I have no problem leasing cars. I think it's a good way to go, for sure. Got my Pilsner Urquell ready for the car talk. Woohoo. All right. Cheers, brother. By the way, we haven't done this in a while. Get out your phone, go to Instagram, and follow Andrea at motormouth_Andrea, and go and follow her. We'll see if we can get a bunch of people to sign up in the next couple of days. And mine is motormouth_auto. Okay? Motormouth_Andrea and motormouth_auto. And when I go up for dinner, we're having salmon tonight. She'll go, oh my God, I have all these followers. It's fun. It's good for me. Boys, it's good for me. Any hybrid sports sedans that are worth buying in the market right now? I got to think about that. Well, a Panamera. That is a spice performance. I just got to think of that for a moment. And you got to think about cars that have the added benefit of electrification that make them better. Off the top of my head, I would say, I wouldn't say the Volvo. It's too expensive. It may be the Volvo S60, but not the top version. One below that would be good. Recent Hyundai ads offering 0% over 84 months. My calculator says that's 7 years. Great for buyer, but doesn't Hyundai want their money sooner? Well, you got to remember that Hyundai's gone out into the marketplace and purchased that money for basically nothing, right? So we know what's happened with interest rates due to COVID, and bank rates are down to almost zero. And then they're basically just subsidizing that rate a little bit more to get you 0%. They make it up in the sale of the car. I don't disagree with doing a long-term if you have 0% interest, if you have the money to buy it off, to pay it off when you want. But I don't like long amortizations like that. 7-year car payment, that's crazy. You're always going to be upside down, meaning the car is going to be worth less than you owe. So, these sorts of terms are great for people if you already have the money and you want to invest your money and use Hyundai's money at 0%. That's not a bad way to go. We have a super chat here from James. Hey, brother. $5 from James. Hit that like button. Thank you, brother. Hit the like button. We got 44 likes, and there's one dick with a thumbs down. I don't know who that is. Turn that frown upside down. Come on, man. Okay, I got to find out where I was. But James, I thank you for that, brother. Corvette C8 or used R8? I don't know. They're both pretty nice. I don't know how used you're going with the R8 to get it down to the same price as a Corvette. So under $100,000. So that's going to be quite a few years old. The R8's a real special car. I mean, there's no getting around that. I don't know. That's a hard one. My gut says R8. Queen's Half Corgi. Hey, Zach, I'm glad that you didn't get a Cruise. We rented one. Few of the interior and exterior trims were coming off. The car only had 3,800 kilometers on it. I'm going to disagree with you on that. I've driven the Chevy Cruze. I've seen the reliability scores of the Chevy Cruze, and the Chevy Cruze scores very well. So rental cars, you never know who's had them and what they've been doing with them. I actually like the Chevy Cruze. I like the way it drives, nice and quiet, smooth, all those sorts of things. I got no problem with the Chevy Cruze. I didn't go with the Chevy Cruze because it didn't have the advanced safety features that the Civic had. And I've mentioned it before. The reason why we were either going for a Honda Civic or a Toyota Corolla is because the automatic forward collision warning and automatic braking. In the province of British Columbia, because we have what's called, state-run insurance, Insurance Corporation of British Columbia, if you have those advanced safety features on your car, you get a reduction in not interest rates, in insurance rates. And with new drivers in the house, that's vitally important. So that's why we got the car we got. Doritos Champion, you are the best YouTuber. You inspired me to make my own channel. Thanks. Well, there you go. Congratulations. James back again. Greetings from Fort Mac. Whereas Sweden saved their oil money and invested, now has almost $500 billion. Alberta squandered our revenue. I think you mean Norway, because Sweden doesn't really have much in the way of oil and gas. I think they have some, but not really much. I think you're talking about Norway. And Norway has doesn't have $500 billion. They got $1 trillion. Hey, Zach, has there been enough long-term studies on EVs to know if the cost of ownership is cheaper of a comparable non-EV? Yeah, I don't think you have to look long and hard to realize that EVs can save you money, except for the purchase price. That's why incentives are in play, and that's why I don't like incentives. They skewer the market. But if you're looking at just outlay of cash after you buy the car, so the fuel is electricity, is cheaper than buying the gasoline. The maintenance is less because there's no internal combustion engine. It's electric motor and batteries. And brakes, there's less wear and tear on brakes because it uses regen braking to charge the battery or reduces the amount of wear and tear. But the big problem is, you look at what you get for your money. For example, a Chevy Bolt or a Nissan Leaf or a Hyundai Kona, they're basically subcompact utilities or subcompact cars. The gasoline equivalent of those is often $20,000 less. For example, we'll use a Chevy Bolt. A Chevy Bolt, in my opinion, is one of the best electric cars on the road in that sort of small hatchback space. But a Honda Fit is basically the same size. And it starts at like $16,000 or $18,000. The Bolt is $45,000. That's a massive difference that you have got to make up by saving. It's the cost of buying it is the biggest problem. Eric Lee, what are your thoughts on the GLB 250? What do you expect to be expensive to maintain? Well, it's going to be, what you would expect from a Mercedes-Benz, the maintenance costs for oil changes and all those sorts of things. It's not going to be like owning a Honda Civic. It's a Mercedes-Benz. But I really liked it. I thought it was a great product. They did a very good job on it. In fact, I kind of think right now it's a better product than the GLC because the GLC has the old interior or the GLB has the new interior. It's a nice product. We already did that one already. When will you drive the 2021 Sorrento? I got to wait until it comes in. So what happens with press cars is that I get an email saying these are the cars that are in, and then I book them. Acura RDX, super handling all-wheel drive, or XC40 all-wheel drive for long-term ownership. How long? And they're both fine products. I would throw in there my other favorite, which is the Audi Q3. I love that product. But the RDX has not been without its warts. It's had teething problems, this current one. And the Volvo XC40, Volvo as a brand, is kind of below the industry average when it comes to reliability. So I come back to the Audi Q3. This is a follow-up to the Toyota 86 question. Toyota 86, super uncomfortable. Better have a chiropractor on standby. Well, these sorts of things are subjective, right? What one person finds comfortable, somebody else doesn't. Do you think the retractable fastback is worth the extra $5,000 over the soft top Miata. I don't like the retractable fastback on the Miata at all. I don't think the proportions of the car look good. So it's got those flying buttresses at the back. I remember the very first time I saw it at one of the auto shows, and I'm like, ew, I don't like it. I'm kind of an outlier. I think that the Miata RF retractable fastback or retractable fastback, I don't think the proportions are right. I think that the sleek lines of the car have this big sort of bubble in the middle with the roof. I wish that they would bring back just the regular retractable hardtop. So you've got the soft top, and they had the retractable hardtop. Then they replaced the retractable hardtop with this RF model. What they're really trying to do is appeal to a more masculine buyer and those who kind of want a coupe, right? So they get the best of both worlds. I don't like it. It's just me. Is it worth it? It's up to you. For me, like if you watch the review that Andrea and I did of the MX-5, I said to her in the video, I had a chance to get either one of them for the review, and I took the regular soft top because I think it's just a better looking car. Paul is saying, hey, Zach, really enjoy your reviews of older cars from Core Motors. If you ever get a chance, I'd love to see a review of the first-gen Acura NSX. I have a friend who has one. He's got an NSX. And, yeah, maybe we should get that car and do one. It's a wonderful car, the original NSX. Why do mid-sized cars cost so much more compared to compact size, like Accord versus Civic? Is a little extra space worth the extra cost? You're getting more power. You're getting a bigger car. Not the case of the Honda Accord versus the Honda Civic, because both of them have independent rear suspension. But a lot of cars, like say the Hyundai and Kia cars, if you get the compact car, they have what's called a torsion beam rear suspension. But then when you go up to the larger sedans, like the Optima and the Sonata, you get independent rear suspension. So there are some mechanical differences. But yeah, you're paying for a bigger car, more power, larger engine, and in many instances, you're paying for independent rear suspension. For example, the Mazda 3 has a torsion beam rear suspension. The Mazda 6 has independent rear suspension. That's just something to think about. Hey, Zach, shouldn't all car companies be installing LED lights on all their vehicles? I got to tell you, our Porsche Cayenne has LED lights. And our last Cayenne had xenon headlamps. The old car, in my opinion, had better lights. So just because it's LED doesn't make it any better. And one of the problems with LED lights in cold climates is you get the ice on the lenses of the headlamps, and they don't heat up enough in the winter to melt the ice and the snow. That's one issue. So yes, it depends on the quality of the LED, because not all LED lights are created equal. I do like a good xenon headlamp, though, and like I said, we had them with and without in our Cayenne. And I thought the old ones were better. So Barrick is saying there are about 200 to 240 people on an NFL team, including players, coaches, trainers, and staff. That's what I guessed, about 200 people. That's a lot of people to try and keep inside a bubble, and then that bubble's going to be moving to a different city every week. I don't know. I'm not sure how the NFL, they're going to test like crazy, I get it. But what happens when, key players of an NFL team get COVID? I'm not sure how they're going to do it. How would you rank major manufacturers in terms of hybrid technology reliability? Well, Toyota is number one. As I said earlier, Toyota is synonymous with hybrid technology, and their hybrid technology has been very, very robust. So if you're looking for a reliable hybrid system, just go and buy a Toyota. And you know where it all started? The hybrid sort of reliability torture test. It all started right here in the city of Vancouver, where I live. In the late, what year would it be? In the late 90s, there was a yellow taxi owner. So he had a taxi license. He bought the first gen Toyota Prius, and he put it in as a taxi. The very first Prius taxi in the world was right here in Vancouver. That car got 300,000 kilometers put on it. And the executives at Toyota said when they brought out the Prius, it was like a technology showcase to show what they could do. They had no idea someone would use it for such an intense purpose. So Toyota in Japan found out about this car in Vancouver, and they bought the car off the guy, and they gave him another Prius. They took that car back to Japan, and they pulled it apart. And they found out that their technology was very robust, and they had no idea that a car like this would have that kind of application. Because of that yellow cab here in Vancouver, now taxi fleets all over the world use Prius because it is just so robust. So it all started here, and actually the guy who owned that license now is a consultant for fleets around the world. So yeah, it's interesting. It all started here. So when you get off an airplane somewhere in the world and you go and get a taxi and it's a Prius, it all started right here in Vancouver. So there you go. Great cars, great product, very, very, very reliable. So they had because of that story, when they launched the Prius, the one that's out now, they did it here in Vancouver. And we were staying at a hotel, and they took us all to dinner. And when we walked out of the hotel, all of the yellow cabs were lined up there. All of them, of course, were Priuses. So they drove us to dinner, and we got to asking the drivers, about their cars. They had no idea why they were hired for this trip. One guy had a Prius with 1.5 million kilometers on it. 1.5 million kilometers on it. The guy said, I think it's a yellow cab 15. So we told the PR people from Toyota Canada, our cab driver said yellow cab 15 has 1.5 million kilometers on it. Well, sure enough, when we walk out of the restaurant, what's sitting there? Yellow cab 15. That's the power of a big car company. They want to get stuff done, they get it done. So we all took pictures with it. It's a really cool story, and it's kind of neat that it all started here in Vancouver. Hey, Zach, do you think manufacturers will treat the journalists differently depending on their numbers of subscribers? Well, probably if you're just doing YouTube, right? If you're just doing YouTube, yes. I mean, they're going to look at a bunch of factors. How long have you been doing it? Have they met you? Your age? How many viewers you have? What's the viewer count? See, you can buy subscribers. Like, say you had 100,000 subscribers, but you only had 2 million views. Well, that doesn't add up, because I've got almost 80 million views, but I've only got 140,000 subscribers. So I got a lot of views on my channel. But for me, I do way more than just this, right? So I host a TV show. I used to have a national radio show. I've written books. I've been doing this for a long time. So it's been 28 years I've been reviewing cars. I know I started when I was 10. So it's been 28 years I've been reviewing cars. So for me, car companies, treat me differently because I've been doing it a long time. So that's kind of my answer. Will car companies going screen crazy will soon have to also start a save the button campaign, like save the manuals? I got a bit of a theory here. I think somebody's going to come out with a retro-inspired interior that just has buttons and switches. Wouldn't that be great? I was kind of hoping with the Taycan, the Porsche, instead of going to this whole screen business like a Me Too car like Tesla, that they have a super cool, fast electric car that looks sleek and modern on the outside. But when you get into it, it's like a vintage 911. Really cool. How cool would that be? Like the dials are analog and the switches and buttons. Now that would be fantastic. Super chat. Love the RF styling, but the side profile does remind me of Lightning Queen from the Kids Car Movie. Well, go and watch the video review I did of the Miata RF or the MX-5 RF. I referenced that exactly. Now that video is from a few years ago, and I actually showed the side profile of the RF, and I showed Lightning McQueen. I don't know. Maybe I was the first guy to bring that up. That video is a few years old now. Now, a lot of people thought I was like wackadoodle, but I stand by it. I don't like the RF. I think the proportions are wrong because the trunk is too short, the low dimensions of the car, and then this big bubble. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Not for me. Give me the good old, I would like the old retractable hardtop back. Zach is saying, please keep the live chats twice a week. I threw it out there. I think I'm going to go back to once a week, starting Monday. If you guys are that upset about it, I can rethink it. But we'll try it for a couple weeks. See how it goes. My apologies. I called you Sack last time. Is there a way we can turn down the noisy engine on the 2020 RAV4? And thanks for the awesome driving tips last time. Oh, I'm glad I helped. Somebody else on Instagram, I think it was Instagram, maybe one of the video questions, just a comment on one of the videos, said, they're a bit intimidated by a lot of car reviews. They don't really follow along. So what I think I might do is do a video sort of breaking down all the terminology that auto enthusiasts and auto reviewers use. Now for some of you this might be basic stuff, but for many people it might not be. What is understeer? What is oversteer? What does a dead on center steering, when someone says the steering is dead on center, what does that mean? What are damping rates for shock absorbers? What are adaptive suspensions? What aren't adaptive suspension? So all of the basic stuff that I think most people know, maybe a lot of people don't. And it might be worth doing that. Then talking about what are the A, B, C, and D pillars on a car. So as auto enthusiasts who are watching this, you probably know. The A pillar is the windshield. The B pillar is by the driver's door. The C pillar is behind the second door, and the D pillar is on an SUV. Now, some people might not know that, so it might be worth doing that. Now, can you get the engine to be less noisy on a 2020 RAV4? Toyota is aware of this. They have told us, yes, they do know that the complaint is that the engine is too noisy. I kind of wonder if maybe it was done intentionally so when people drive the hybrid, they like it more. Could that be a psychological thing? Maybe. They are aware of it. For viewers concerned about German reliability, I have a 2012 ML350 gas with 225,000 kilometers. I have had zero engine and transmission issues. Only issue was with sonar sensors, which corroded in the rear bumper. Now that's been a good car. So you've had 8 years of service and 250,000 kilometers, and you've had one fault. You know what? I've owned many German cars. I don't keep them typically that long. Our Cayenne was 6 years when I gave it back. We had no problem with that car. We had a couple of little, the side mirror, when it tilted down in the winter once in a while, would kind of get frozen and then would pop back up again. That was one. What else happened with that car? I can't even think of anything else. There was minor stuff. Our Audi A7, I had two little niggly things, were tiny little defects. So I agree with you. If you buy and maintain a German car, they can be very reliable. Hey Zach, would you recommend a 15 Lexus RX base model, or would you pay more for a 16 RX? In one model year, more reliable than the other if kilometers are similar. Dave, if you can swing the newer, I'm not sure if this is focusing, I'm going to do one of those. If you can swing the newer gen, get the newer gen. It's just a better car. Never mind about the reliability. The reliability is going to be about the same. What I will tell you is it's just a better car. The old Lexus RX, in my opinion, was noisy. I thought the interior was kind of not up to the job. Didn't particularly like the styling of it. The new one looks better. It's quieter. It's got better suspension, much better interior. It's just a better car. So if you can swing the newer one, get the newer one. Trust me on this. And a Lexus is a Lexus is a Lexus. It's a very reliable car. Why does Canada get the Lexus LX570 but not the Land Cruiser, since both are sold in the United States? I've never been able to get a solid answer on that, and I'm really disappointed because I would love to have a Land Cruiser. Like, I got a Toyota Tacoma. If I could get a nice Land Cruiser, I'd get that instead. I love my 19 Tiguan, but I'd love even more if it were electric. When will the electric CUVs be arriving en masse, in your opinion? I have too much kids stuff for a sedan. Well, Colin, you don't have to wait long. Volkswagen showed some teaser pictures of the ID4. They showed the interior. Between now and Christmas, the new crossover from Volkswagen called the ID4 will be shown. Okay? And then it goes on sale next year. So keep your Tiguan for another year, 18 months. The ID4 from Volkswagen, which is a utility and it's electric. And so think of the Audi e-tron sort of running gear, but in a Volkswagen with Volkswagen grade materials, not as fancy as the Audi, of course, will be coming. It's going to be shown, the final production model, in the next few months, and then next year it goes on sale. Okay, so not too long to wait. Happy wife, happy life. Yeah. So if you missed it, I'm asking you guys a favor. Go on Instagram, get your phone out right now, and I'll see if anybody's followed along with me. So go to Instagram, and let me see what I got here. I only got one new follower. Come on, guys. So it's motormouth_auto for me, and motormouth_Andrea for Andrea, and yeah, happy wife, happy life. But Zach, do you trade your car in again in 3 years when it's leased or buy it out? It depends. It all depends. If I like to call a lease like the 3-year test drive. The great thing about leasing a car is you get to drive it for 3 years. If you hate it, you don't like it, it's been an absolute nightmare and is in the shop every 2 months, give them the keys back, walk away, get something else. If, however, you've driven the car, you love the car, it's been very reliable, it's needed nothing other than regular maintenance, and you really don't want to, you've already invested a bunch of cash into it, and you have a chance to buy it out, maybe keep it. Every situation is different. In my instance with our Audi A7, because we have so few kilometers on our cars when we go to trade them in or get a new one, our Audi A7 that we had for over 3 years, I bought the car from Audi at the end of the lease, and then I resold the car, and I was able to pocket about $10,000. There was about 10 grand in equity in the car. So I did both. I bought it and I sold it. Our current Cayenne, I lease it just because of basically for write-off situations, because we use it for our business. So all the shots you see driving from one car to the next, they're all shot using our Cayenne. We use it for picking up and dropping off cars and all those sorts of things. So it's part of our workflow. And the interesting thing is, you probably say, well, what do you need a Cayenne for? You could do that with a minivan. Interesting thing is, when we do acceleration shots, we accelerate away. Of all of the cars that we've driven in the last year or so, there's only one car that has been faster than our Cayenne diesel, up to about 100 kilometers an hour. And it's the car we're driving this week. So stay tuned for that. So it all depends what your situation is. You can buy it, you can lease it, it's up to you. Any word on the ID Cross? Waiting for it. I think, Linda, I just answered that. The ID Cross was the concept car name. It's going to be called the ID4. Okay. By the way, we've got a bunch of new people on. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, I'd love for you to subscribe and give it a thumbs up. We're at 81 thumbs up, over 200 people on, so I'd like for you to do that if you could. Mohammed is saying, I'm looking at getting an Elantra Sport. How is it? Is it sporty enough? Thank you. I really like the Elantra Sport. It's a nice car. I think it's a good, fun car. It's available with a dual clutch or a manual transmission. It's got 201 horsepower. That was a great car. Honda E looks great. It's too bad it wasn't made in a more affordable package, such as gas or hybrid. Or just make it the new Civic. So the Honda E, if it's the car I'm thinking about, looks like the old Honda Civic, that retro-inspired full electric car, not for the North American market. It's quite small, too. I don't know if you've seen one in person, but it's really small. Would you choose between a 17 Honda Pilot Touring or a 16 4Runner Limited as a family car? The Toyota 4Runner is going to use way more gas. It has a 4-liter V6 engine that likes gasoline. The Pilot's going to be more fuel efficient. The Toyota 4Runner is old technology and an old interior. However, All of that being said, it is a body-on-frame truck. So think of the Toyota 4Runner as a body built on top of like a pickup truck platform. It's a Hilux, but it's basically a body bolted on top of a real chassis. Where a Pilot is like every other crossover. It's a unibody design. That 4Runner, because it is this body-on-frame development, has an amazing resale value, an amazing cult following. So yes, you're going to pay more for gas to have a 4Runner, like substantially more on gas. But when you go to sell the 4Runner, there'll be a lineup of guys at your front door wanting to buy it. It just has this amazing cult following. It's a very capable vehicle. It doesn't have all the nice stuff on the inside that you get with a lot of modern cars. The radio is small, kind of cheap looking. It looks like a pickup truck on the inside, but amazing resale value. My neighbor across the street, he's got a black one that is 22 years old, I think it is. It looks amazing. And he has guys asking him all the time if he wants to sell it. So if it's, they're both fine. The 4Runner is cooler, but likes gasoline. And by the way, it's a real 4x4 where the Honda is an all-wheel drive system. So the 4x4 system is much more robust for going off-road, but in just everyday situations, the Pilot will be better for handling slick conditions automatically, if you know what I mean. What are your thoughts on the 2021 Crosstrek with a bigger engine? If you're just tuning in now, I am getting a chance to drive it a week today, the 17th. Oh, they did say there is an embargo on the impressions, so a review won't be available, I think, for another week after that. But yeah, there is a video coming out on it soon. First time tuning in live, quick question, probably the wrong comparison for the potential purchase. Which one do you prefer, the GLI or the 2021 TLX? Well, no one's driven the 2021 TLX yet, so hasn't come out yet. It's coming out this month or next month, and when I get a chance to drive it, I'll tell you all about it. GLI is a good value, though. Like a GLI is good value. You get a lot of car for your money. What's up, Zach? Hope you're enjoying your... I hope Jack is enjoying the new Civic. Go Raptors. The new Civic doesn't arrive till tomorrow. We get it tomorrow. Pick it up tomorrow. Oh, this one hurts. Got a crack in my LED headlamps on my Mazda 3. Didn't get to the dealer in time for a fix. $2,500 repair. Ouchie, ouch, ouch. Hey, Zach, love your reviews. I was surprised to see there are still new 19 Golf R available at dealer for $40,000. Is this a good deal? Well, the new Golf R isn't coming for another year. So what you're saying is they're asking the retail price. It's a great car. You know what? I think there's going to be pretty scarce availability of the new Golf R initially. There's going to be a lot of fanboys waiting to get their hands on it. It might not be a bad car to drive for or lease for 2 years and then trade it in. It's a wonderful car. So what they did was they overproduced more than they typically would in 2019, and they imported them. And from what Thomas Tetzlaff told me, they had them scattered around the country in different lots. So the dealers still have some inventory of them. So it's not going to be until a year from now that the Golf GTI and R are available. And I would suspect that they're going to be a bit of a premium to get them, and there's going to be a long waiting list to get them. So, you know, maybe wait another year. So another year till the car comes, and then wait a year after that to get one and not have to be like crazy bidding on one. So, you know, maybe lease a Golf R for 2 years. Richard's saying he wants 2 times a week. All right, what do you guys think? Okay, it looks like we're kind of up against the clock here. We're up an hour now. There's lots of spamming going on here. Okay, if you haven't signed up yet, go to look at that, perfect. I just want to bring it up. Go to carcostcanada.com, use the promo code MOTORMOUTH, and become an expert member. Get extra searches. I just want to bring up again one of the pictures I got this week. This is Nick. Nick Yee picked up this using Car Cost Canada. He dealt directly with the sales manager, not the salesperson. He got $7,500 off a brand new 2020 Nissan Rogue. $7,500 by using Car Cost Canada. So be like Nick Yee, be smart, get a good deal. And if you're not going to be buying a new car and using Car Cost Canada, somebody in your family, a friend, a neighbor, somebody will be using it. Tell them about it. It doesn't cost anything to sign up. Motormouth is the promo code. Get the extra searches and get them a good deal. All right. Thanks to everybody that came on board today. We will see you on Monday. I'm going to do once a week for a couple of weeks. See how you guys like it. And we'll chat then. All right. We're going to watch some NFL and Go Raptors Go tomorrow. That's going to be very exciting. Have a great weekend, everyone.